Hello everyone, Just Politics back with another video, and today I'm going to be releasing my 2022 governor's forecast and what I think will happen, and I'll also be analyzing some of the results and generic ballot data that we have right now. First, I'd like to characterize the two states that have already held their governor's election, Virginia and New Jersey. New Jersey is a state that went for Biden by about 16 points. If you look at this, he won Atlantic, he won Cumberland, he won Gloucester, but now let's look at what happened. He won all of these South New Jersey counties, and he won Atlantic, I'm talking about Chitterelli here, by a pretty comfortable margin. He won Cumberland by a pretty comfortable margin, along with Salem, Gloucester. Let's look at this in 2020. Gloucester did barely go to Biden, but by 2 points. Cumberland went to Biden by an alright amount, and Atlantic went by almost 7 points. This literally completely flip-flopped and went for Chitterelli than it did by more than it did that it went for Biden. If we look at the size of victory, they had some pretty decent margins in some of these counties that Biden originally won. I mean, Morris, we won it by literally like almost 12 points. That's a county that Biden won by 5 points in 2020. These are considerable margins. I mean, Bergen County, he won it. I mean, it didn't flip, but I mean, I'll be honest, there were some speculations about what happened there, but I mean, Morris went to Biden by 51%. I mean, Morris went to Chitterelli by over like 11%. So, what I'm trying to tell you is that what happened in 2021 tells us a lot about what's going to happen in 2022. Let's look at Virginia. Went to Biden by 10.1%. I mean, that's a 12.1% shift to the right in Virginia. I mean, let's just look at Loudoun County. Went to McAuliffe by about 11 points. I mean, that's a county that went to Biden by a pretty considerable amount, much more than what McAuliffe won by. What else? I mean, all of these gains in Eastern Virginia is what drove Glenn Youngkin to the finish line. Now, obviously, not every race is going to be as hard of a shift as it will be in 2022, but let's look at what happened. Virginia shifted 12.1% to the right. That race is largely argued that he won because of the candidate and what he ran on, but I don't think that's true. I think it's upset at the Biden administration and National Democrats. I think people are upset at them and they want to get them out. They're mad at them right now. And they just have fallen massively out of favor. Why do I think this? I mean, New Jersey shifted further to the right than Virginia did, and Chitterelli ran on lowering taxes and nothing to do with education. He never even mentioned anything about education until Glenn Youngkin started doing that. And even then, it was not nearly as popular of a race as Virginia was, and he still brought it within 3 points. It's extremely impressive. And overall, both races shifted about 12.4% to the right. Now, let's just fill out the safe states first. I mean, I'm just going to put out Texas at this point is probably going to be safe even with Beto running. In fact, I think it'll go even more for Greg Abbott if Beto's running against him than if someone else were to. New Hampshire's obviously going to be safe. Florida, I mean, I'm not sure about Florida. I think it'll be likely, but it's still Florida. I mean, that's a pretty good margin. I mean, Hawaii, Maryland, New York. Actually, wait, hold on. not Maryland. That's Connecticut and Rhode Island. I think those would be the only safe states. I mean, California too, I guess, because the upset for Newsom is starting to calm down, I guess. But Illinois might be within likely, but I think right now it'll be safe. And that's all the safe states. So let's fill out the likely states. I think the governorship will flip from Laura Kelly in 2022 by a likely margin, depending on who runs. Obviously, Florida, Wisconsin, very unpopular Democrat governor there. Laura Kelly's going to win by a lot, the way it sits right now, at least. And I think that's the likely states for Republicans right now. Oregon will be likely. Maryland will be likely, even if the lieutenant governor runs there. Nevada will be lean. So will Michigan. Tom Wolf is very out of favor right now. Depending on if we could primary out Brian Kemp, which I think we will be able to, and someone else could run. I know a few candidates, but there was one, I forgot his name, it was Doug Jones or something, that that was gonna run but now is not, which is kind of disappointing. But for lean Dem, I think that they're gonna be able to hold on to Minnesota, Colorado, New Mexico, and that's it for lean. And I think Maine is going to be a serious battleground in 22, but I do think the Democrats are favored to win it right now by a tilt margin. So this is my final 22 governor's race prediction. 32 to 18, pretty considerable amount of a majority for Republicans. Now, if we look at my Senate predictions, they're kind of similar. I think that there's going to be a lot of down ballot voting in 2022. Kari Lake is just pretty popular in Arizona, and I think that she could paint the state red again. She's not a neocon. She's a powerful enough figure to make Arizona a pretty reliable red state again. I think that her could increase the Republican popularity in Arizona and shift it away from being a neocon state, hopefully. So this is my final prediction. And you could definitely see a correlation between my Senate map and my governor map. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.